She organized the March on Washington with her own hands. She stood on the Lincoln Memorial stage beside Martin Luther King Jr. She counseled presidents, and they never let her speak. Dorothy Height was born in 1912 in Richmond, Virginia. Her family moved to Rankin, Pennsylvania, a steel town where her mother ran women's clubs. At 15 years old, Height won a statewide oratory contest. She could talk, she could move people. Colleges wanted her. Barnard offered admission, then withdrew it. The school said they'd already admitted 2 black women for the year. That was their quota. So she went to New York University instead, earned a bachelor's in education and a master's in psychology. She'd make her voice heard anyway. At 25, she joined the National Council of Negro Women. That organization became her life. According to the National Park Service historical records, by 1957, Height was elected president of NCNW. For 40 years, she ran it, she expanded it, she made it the largest black organization in America. And she did something no other woman in the movement did. She sat at the table with Martin Luther King Jr., James Farmer, John Lewis, A. Philip Randolph, Roy Wilkins, and Whitney Young, the Big Six. According to civil rights historian James Farmer's autobiography, Height was the only woman to serve regularly alongside them on major civil rights projects. But the press called it the Big Six anyway. They didn't count her. Sexism, Farmer wrote, made them invisible. In 1963, Height didn't just attend the March on Washington. According to the Martin Luther King Jr. Research and Education Institute, she was one of the chief organizers. She helped plan it. She mobilized women across the country. She showed up with the organizational knowledge the march depended on. And when the male organizers finalized the speaker list, there were no women. Not one. According to documented accounts, Height and civil rights organizer Anna Arnold Hedgeman protested. Hedgeman wrote a letter to the Big Six. She argued that the exclusion was incredible in light of women's essential contributions to the movement. The men ignored the letter in the meeting. It took public pressure before they finally agreed to let a woman speak at all. Only one, and it wasn't Dorothy Height. On August 28, 1963, Height sat on the speaker's platform at the Lincoln Memorial while Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his dream speech. She was surrounded by every major male leader of the civil rights movement. She could talk. She was a legend, and they kept her silent. According to Height's own memoir, Open Wide the Freedom Gates, she called that moment vital to awakening the women's movement. Rustin's stance, she wrote, showed that men didn't see their position as patriarchal. They were happy to include women in the human family, but there was no question who headed the household. That moment changed Height. After the march, she organized what she called, After the March, What? Black women came together, and they decided something. If they didn't demand their rights, they'd never get them. That meeting sparked the Mississippi Freedom Schools movement. It sparked voter registration drives. Height became more aggressive, more visible, more demanding, and she never let them forget her again. For the next 4 decades, Height led the NCNW through voter registration, vocational training, fighting poverty, ending segregation in churches and community centers. She advised President Dwight Eisenhower, President Lyndon Johnson, President Bill Clinton. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the Congressional Gold Medal. 40 presidents listened to her counsel. The woman they silenced on the most important day of the civil rights movement became one of the most influential voices in modern American history. She died in 2010 at age 98. Funeral at Washington National Cathedral. President Barack Obama delivered her eulogy. They finally called her what she should have been called all along, the Godmother of the civil rights movement. So think about this. They had to exclude her to make room for their narrative. They had to silence her because her presence challenged their power. Women made the civil rights movement work. They organized the people. They did the work. But the men spoke. The men got remembered. And Dorothy Height spent decades proving that no silence they imposed on her could ever erase her impact. What women's contributions to history are we still not seeing? What movements are we celebrating without knowing the names of the women who built them? Comment below. Tell me what this makes you think about. And if you believe Dorothy Height's legacy deserves the same celebration as the men beside her, share this. Like this. Follow for more stories they wanted to stay buried.